doing a little bit of behind the scenes stuff. Work on finishing up this episode.
51 years later, 1998, these two mountaineers are climbing up Mount Tupungatu. It's a giant glacier. One of the tallest mountains in the America. You like my notes I got off Wikipedia? They're mountaineering. They're walking
watch
around
the amazing
the snow,
editing process. There's not much, really. When the episode's on point, it's on point.
What? Piece of clothing up on this mountain. What? I thought we were the first ones up here. Oh, man. Look at someone's jacket. Hey, Gus, over here.
It's a lot of taking out. Hey, what's up, Big Boss? Hey, McCall. Hey, Fantasy. It's a lot of taking, this little behind the scenes thing, it's a lot of taking out these gaps in the recording process. When I'm recording, a lot of times. What's up, Metist?
Hey, Gus, over here. There's an engine buried in the snow. They report it, but it's at the top of a mountain. So what are you going to do? 2 years later, in the year 2000.
So this is a tricky edit because usually I'm pretty good at stopping it, but
it's at the top of a mountain. So what are you going to do? 2000. But it's at the top of a mountain. So what are you going to do? 2 years later,
there we go. That's a good clean edit there.
Army goes up.
Very proud of myself.
Start looking around, poking around.
I got it, Fantasy. I got it on the couch there.
They find a propeller.
Yeah, Fallon. I mean, yeah, it is a good time to catch up.
Everyone's
stuck inside
in the ice. DNA sent and tested, matched against relatives. These were the remains of the people of Stardust.
So this is a bit of a spoiler alert for today's episode. I'm just finishing this up here, but I always wanted to.
The plane was flying.
Give you guys a behind the scenes.
The plane was flying. It thought it had. The plane.
I recorded. If it's a good episode, I'm recording it in one long take. I'll mess up like you guys have been seeing me do.
The plane was flying. It thought it had clearance. It smashed right into the side of the mountain.
Usually, it's a good take is me just
caused an avalanche. Complete, because they went looking for the plane. They weren't just like, oh, it's 6 minutes late. It's supposed to be here 4 minutes ago. Oh well, stand deck. They went looking for the plane. They couldn't find it. The plane, they believed, hit the mountain head on.
Hey, Tickus. Hey, Hale. I think we've pretty much covered the Stonehead pretty well. It was just the one. It's an interesting story. I love it, but
hit the mountain head on.
I don't think there's any other ones out there.
Which completely buried it. And over the next 51 years, the snow was settling and moving down the mountain. The debris was actually going down the mountain as well, getting exposed, snow melting, stuff like that. And that was that, right?
So this is where I'm taking long pauses. It's only actually 2 or 3 seconds, but in the you would if you were listening to a podcast and they went 3 seconds of silence, I feel like you think something's wrong and you look over. So I get rid of a lot of these giant gaps. If you listen to the way that I talk generally, I don't talk as fast as I do on the show. I'm sorry, some people have commented here. I don't get to see them. I think it was just called the Stonehead of Guatemala. I'll see if I can pull it up later. Yeah, I know California just went into stay in
snow
place.
Melting, stuff like that.
Oregon's not there yet, but I'm just staying in place.
It's interesting to think. You wonder if anyone survived it. That's kind of grim, but I wonder if anyone survived the impact. And they just kind of had to live in an iceberg for a while, and then you just kind of die. You just kind of die after a certain point. You're like, I wonder if again, that's kind of grim, but it's like you could live for a while. People lived in igloos and stuff like that. Of course, igloos don't fly at 700 miles an hour and crash into stuff. Igloos, people build them and they go inside of them.
And so this should also, if you guys have ever thought about doing a podcast or something, this is really how easy it is. The one thing I recommend people who are doing podcasts, edit. Your favorite podcasts, they sound super smooth. It sounds like there's tons of edits on there. There's tons of edits. So you want to edit if you're going to do that. Hey, Big Boss. So, the Nobody. Remind me about that, dude, because I got a long story about the Nobody theory.
Jelly, but
I haven't covered it yet, but I probably should. Let me write your name down. Hold on. Let me write your name down so I can give you credit, because a couple people have talked about that. And we'll talk about the Nobody later. I don't know if you can still hear me here, but I'm still here. The Nobody. Big Boss. Hey, did any of you guys recommend the Long John Silver story? Someone sent me for the Long John Silver story, and then I never wrote down who it was. I'm trying to figure out who that was.
They don't fly and smash.
This is
everyone, turn
almost
everyone
over,
into jelly,
too.
but
Yeah.
if you survive the initial impact, I bet you could hang out in that glacier for a while and just hang out. I don't know. I mean, it's not like you have a great standard of living. You're underneath 30 feet of ice. I guess your oxygen would be. Anyways, maybe someone tunneled their way out. Maybe someone tunneled their way out into the great Nazi utopia that's underneath the Andes. They're like, oh, welcome here. Thank you for bringing the rest of Hitler's brain. Yes, my masters. The Nazi mole people. But for the most part, I think that they probably all died. I don't think it's controversial saying that they all died. That they all died on impact. It's horrible. But after 51 years,
it's a lot of editing out coughs, sneezes, coughs and sneezes now.
After 51
generally.
years, they finally did have an answer to.
You guys are going to be fine. The toilet paper wars, I'm pretty sure, are over. All the stores are over. That's one thing when we look at these other countries that have dealt with this virus. Electricity never got shut off. Water never got shut off. Stores weren't getting shut down. It wasn't rioting in the street. I think the coronavirus is something we got to be aware of and safe about. But I'm not super worried about the fallout.
To this day, nobody knows what Stendek means.
I'm more worried about the long-term economic stuff than I am about the disease itself.
Just because you found the remains
I
of
know,
a plane
Tickus.
doesn't necessarily mean you can discount alien intervention. If you went to the bottom of the Bermuda Triangle and you found every boat and plane that had crashed in there, it doesn't mean everyone was a bad pilot or it was a bad stormy day that day. It's just a rest yard. It's just a graveyard.
For all the mistakes I make, every so often I catch myself making one. I don't know what the hell a rest yard is. To fix that.
It'd be the equivalent of if somebody went missing and then you found them dead later, you're not going to think, oh, maybe they just happened to have a heart attack the same time they were missing. You're going to start looking for suspects over who caused them to go missing.
Nettis, that's funny. I was watching, I forgot where I saw this, and they were saying, so you're not going to arrest people for non-violent crimes, but you'll arrest people if they leave their house. Like if a bar stays open and serves people, you'll arrest them.
Now, the most likely
So
scenario
you won't arrest a guy who's like committing identity theft or a pimping. So it's weird.
Really
it's all weird.
Crash in the mountain. Everyone died.
Now, see, that's a point where I want to pause. So I was about to take out this whole pause, but I want to give it a little bit of punch there. Yeah, I don't think we're going. Well, it better not be Mad Max Simulator. I don't got a car. I'm walking everywhere.
But it still does make you think why the radio operator's last words were Stendek. Was he trying to say something? Was he trying to say something? Report on something? Was he trying to? Was he trying to say something? Report on something?
What's up, Super?
Was he trying to warn people of a crash?
I'm doing. Hey, what's up? Hey, earbud. Yeah. Hey, I'll talk to you. I'll send you a text message later. I got some stuff to tell you, but I'm doing good. I hope you're doing well.
Or was he trying to warn people of something else? I know it's a stretch. Because here's the. Or was he trying to warn people of something else? I know it's a stretch.
So this is tricky. So a lot of times I'll record different versions of the ending. I don't think we've, and I'll give you a little tour of my house in a second. But now that you saw my dirty kitchen and my craziness over there. A lot of times I'll record different endings, so I got to figure out which one I'm going to use here.
But it still does make you think why the radio operator's last words were Stendek. Crash in the mountain. Everyone died.
And generally, I'll record multiple endings, but here's the thing. The last one is the one I want to use. It's pretty easy to edit. I just got to figure out where the right stopping point is. So I think that's it back there. Let's see.
An interesting mystery with a possible...
Yep. There we go. Let's see if what's this here?
And the plane that we...
Yeah. So I'll leave these long pauses, but you'll hear me like, I started one and I was like, nope, don't like that ending. This one here, didn't like it. This one, same thing.
Some people still hold on hope that there's a connection between this and the other British Airlines ships that go missing over the Bermuda Triangle.
Cut. And I'll just call cut. It's like, no, I don't like the way I'm doing. Because the show is super improv. This is what I go off of. I don't think I've ever shown you guys this stuff before. These are all my notes. So yesterday we did the episode of Disguised Abduction. I have this. Husband and wife compelled to go to the movie. Compelled is misspelled. Leave the theater. Can't get home. Every road blocked by construction. Driving around for hours. Can't figure it out. Finally get home. Blurry memories. And so what I'm doing is I'm recording the episode. I'll show you my mic too. I'm recording the episode. I'm looking at my notes. And sometimes you'll hear when it starts to get real technical, you can actually hear my voice because I'm turning and looking at the screen more. And so let me see if I can find you one that's really MS means main story. Like this, bam. I got multiple links up here in case anyone, and it's goes on and on and on. It's about this guy who meets this super hot chick on a spaceship, and for the rest of his life, he's like totally simping after this alien girl. His wife divorces him because he's in love with this alien chick. But the story just goes on and on and on, which is good. But this is one where I have a lot of quotes and things like that. When we come down to Mount Hood Bigfoot, I really don't have anything. That's just the actual stories. Thought bacteria. I have a date. I have a location. I have a time. Name. Da-da-da-da-da. A guy met some aliens. He asked if he could go home with them, and they said, no, you'll bring thought bacteria. That's it. And then this is an actual write-up from the website. So sometimes I have super detailed notes. Now this here, this could still be a 5-minute long story. I think it's a really interesting one. The idea of a guy asking to be abducted and the aliens either coming up with a legit excuse, being like, no. Or maybe because of his profession, he was a journalist, they were afraid he was going to bring some sort of something to the alien species they didn't want. So this is what the notes look like. So I'll be looking over the notes and I'll be recording this. And what that means is I'll have starts and stops and I'll record things and go, I don't like that, or that's... this episode's pretty short. I noticed this week the episodes have been kind of short, which I technically don't have a problem with, but some of you guys
Everyone
do.
died. An interesting mystery with a possible easy answer. Plane crash. Everyone died. And if it wasn't for those mountaineers on that particular day, we probably would have gone another 20 years without finding out what happened to Stardust.
Just another minute or two here.
But then you look at the other things. 3 planes missing, 3 years.
Thought bacteria, yeah, thought bacteria.
2 over the
That's funny,
Bermuda
Nettis. That's funny.
And the plane that we did find left a bizarre message that can't be deciphered to this day. Was Stendeck an error? Was it an acronym that nobody knew but the radio operator? Or was the radio operator trying to signal that they saw something they couldn't explain?
See, and I remember
2 over the Bermuda Triangle.
So I recorded this episode yesterday, and I'll explain why in this episode, but I remember the episode. Once the episode's out, I totally forget about it. People will be like, hey, remember that episode? I'm like, nope. But while I'm still working on it, I remember doing this multiple takes here.
But will we ever find an answer to that ill-fated plane's last words?
So let's see here.
Company. 2 over the Bermuda Triangle. And the plane that we did find, we may have found the wreckage of the Stardust.
So I can kind of remember. I remember I said went on and on and on, and then I cut it. And when I say cut, it always leaves this is my vocal pattern. So when I say cut, I can just look for these cuts. If I do it right, this is much easier. I'm going to drag it down there. And let's see how this flows. No. Clear this up.
Three years, all from the same company. 2 over the Bermuda Triangle. We may have found the wreckage of the Stardust. But will we ever find it?
Yeah.
We may have found the...
And then I'm like, nope, like it. Didn't like the delivery. I'm going to say the exact same thing. I just didn't like the way I said
But will we ever find an answer to that ill-fated plane's words? Stendek.
Give it a little bit of pause.
DeadRabbitRadio@gmail.com is going to be our email address. You can also hit us up at Facebook.com. I love you guys, and I will see you later.
I found out I used to watch a lot of Philip DeFranco. I swear to God, it sounds not like him, but it sounds like his speech pattern. But let's see here. I'm going to ditch that. Bam. So how are you guys doing tonight? How's everyone doing tonight? Let's see. Sorry, I needed 2 hands for that. Everyone doing good? So here we go. We're gonna get this episode uploaded, and I think I'll do a house tour tomorrow. I think I'll show you my. Since I'm gonna be stuck in here for a while, I've been pretty good. I haven't been leaving much, but I've been going for walks. But I think been hanging out, going to see my friend. But I think starting tomorrow, I'm just gonna stay inside until this all gets resolved. But I'm gonna do the 14-day stay inside thing, that whole thing. In solidarity with my California brothers and sisters that are being put in a non-voluntary stay-at-home legal stuff. I don't think they're going to arrest people. I don't think it's to that point yet. But hopefully just everyone gets this taken care of. Okay, this is my outro music. Let's see here, bam. And then this is actually, honestly, the trickiest. This show is so low maintenance. Pretty much one take. Hey, Emperor, it's pretty much just take. But this part here, I always like to line this music up. My outro got longer. Now I say, hey, everyone, stay healthy, stay safe. I love you guys. Like, it's gotten a little. I hate it when I do that. It's gotten a little bit longer. Damn it, that's not. Thank God for undo. There we go. Like back when old people, when they were doing like tech stuff and they were like cutting tape and editing, that would have sucked. Okay, here we go. So I want to have this queued up just right. Come on.
Stendek.
Too long. I want that music to kind of bring us in from that last part. So let's undo that fade. I'm going to bring this in just a little bit here. Because it sets the tone. You know what? Honestly, a lot of people stop listening to the show right here. They listen to the music. They're like, this episode's done. That's totally fine. But I still like to have that little bit of atmosphere. I want this music to get here, right?
Stendek.
Too long. This honestly, this is like the trickiest part for me. And each time I move it, I have to change that fade in so it doesn't fade in. There we go. Let's try this. I don't want it to fade in too much and then that last part gets blocked out. All starts the stuff. Okay, here we go.
Stendek.
There we go.
Dead Rabbit Radio
I like that build-up. See, I like that.
Address. You can also hit us up at Facebook.com/DeadRabbitRadio. Twitter is @DeadRabbitRadio. Dead Rabbit Radio is the daily paranormal conspiracy and true crime podcast. You don't have to listen to it every day, but I'm glad you listened to it today. Have a great day, guys. Have a great weekend. Be healthy. Be safe. I love you guys, and I will see you later.
And then on Fridays, I actually kind of let the beat play out a little bit here at the end. Again, most people are out of here by then, but I kind of like to, just because it's the last episode you're going to hear for a couple days. And I love this music. I let it play just for a couple seconds here, a little longer, right here. So I'm going to cut it right here. Yeah, superposition, yes. You know what, dude? I'm a free software guy. Like, Audacity is free, and it's everything that I need it to do. And so,
healthy, be safe. I love you guys, and I will see you later.
Yep, there we go. So now, save it, export. So yeah, you know what? It's funny because right now, you guys are probably in the same position I am. You're not going outside. Now's the time, dude. You know, I mentioned, what was it, episode 300? I was like, guys, let's get those projects going. Let's do these things. Now's the time, guys, to start writing that book. It's Dusty Guitar time, guys. Dusty Guitar time. What episode are we? 409. Think about it, dude. 409, man. I was doing nothing a year and a half ago. Episode 409 of this awesome podcast with you guys, spending time with me. It's awesome. This is all my stuff here on my back end. Get those projects going, dude. You got 2 weeks minimum. Quit world building. Start writing that book. Pick up that dusty guitar. Start recording that podcast. It's easy. Most podcasts nowadays recorded on iPhones, dude. Let's see if I can turn this around. I had to put on a shirt and my hair's a mess, but I don't know. Let's try to fix that. Most podcasts are recorded on phones, man. Get a little microphone, a little clip, stuff like that, because nothing else is going to go in here on this computer here. Now I'm just I exported it, save it, show notes, all that stuff. But now it's time to get that stuff done, man. Let's do that stuff. So that's it. Tomorrow I'm gonna give you a tour of the isolation ward. We're gonna show you how much baked beans that I have, how much water that I have. We're gonna show you where I'm gonna be spending the next 14 days. I'm not going outside. I'll probably go outside for a walk, stuff like that, but I'll show you all that stuff. But I wanted to give you guys a behind the scenes thing. Thanks for checking in. And I think tomorrow we'll probably do it earlier because it seems to be more people watch earlier. And because more people have less stuff to do, it's the middle of the day. But I love you guys. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. And now I got to be a boomer and find the button. There we go.